Hi guys, today I'm doing kind of a review of third-party GameCube controller and other things, and several GameCube games. So yeah, so this right here is a GameCube controller. It looks very similar to the original GameCube controller. And well, it's interesting because when I bought this off Amazon, they said that this is a controller made by a company called Joytech, but I feel like it says Circa, which I have no idea what that is. But I imagine probably joytech bought off this company. But it looks very interesting because it's pretty much a direct copy of the original GameCube controller. Pretty interesting. So I'm gonna open this pretty soon. But let's get to some other stuff. So I went to GameStop today and I actually found a couple of cool games. If you look right here, Metroid Prime 3 for the Wii. And it only cost me $4.99. $5 for a great game, and it works perfectly. Another game that I got is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Crystal Bearers. Actually, this is a pretty entertaining game, more than I thought it would be, and it only cost me $10. So altogether with tax and everything, it only cost me $16 for two pretty cool games. And I found this game, I forgot I even had this game, that Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. This is a really cool kind of like rail shooter type game, kind of like similar to like House of the Dead. It's really fun to play. Alright, so now I'm going to open up the GameCube controller. Alright, so here's the GameCube controller, and this is by Joytech, and it feels very interesting because if you look at it, it's an exact copy of the original GameCube controller, but however, there are some differences. For example, this is actually very, very dirty. It's very dusty. It's not cool. But the analog stick feels very similar, at least right now it feels very similar to the original GameCube. So does the C-stick. It feels pretty similar. I mean, the D-pad, it's kind of like the original. The front buttons right here, they look exactly like the original GameCube, and they actually feel pretty good too, which isn't too bad. However, the triggers, they feel a little off. It's actually there's more kind of a what do you call it, resistance compared to like the original GameCube. I'm not sure if people like that, but yeah. What's interesting is this L trigger, like you can feel the button go in, but then the R, not so much. And how about the Z button? Well, very clicky sounding. But we'll give it a try and see how that works. Alright guys, so I'm gonna test out this controller. We'll be playing Star Fox Adventures. Be a good game to test out this controller. Okay? First thing I noticed though, because I'm plugging this in, controller into a couple extension cords or extension cables, it feels kind of loose, you know, plugging in. But I think the connection should be okay. Let's see. Alright, yeah, that looks okay. Let's see how well it'll move back and forth. Alright, so with the analog stick, I'm kind of like, you know, pressing all the way forward. Seems pretty responsive. Let's see how it reacts to like very slight touch. Not very sensitive. There's not a lot of room for like, you know, very small maneuvers. Yeah, see. So that's kind of a problem. Although the analog stick feels very similar to the, what you would call it, the original GameCube controller. Let's see about the C stick. I mean, seems to be functioning fine. In this game, C stick kind of controls like, you know, your items and stuff. So that's okay. Let's see, take out the staff. Let's see, what about... Alright. So the R trigger works. I was a little concerned about that, but the trigger itself works, but it doesn't really click at the end. It's not a big deal. Alright, the L works. It's kind of like Z targeting, versus like strafing. The X button. Why doesn't do anything right now? I guess I could yeah, let's try to fly a fire blaster. Okay, so see that everything seems to be working pretty fine. So right now, the controller's not too bad. Yeah, works pretty fine. Overall, this controller feels very similar to the original GameCube controller. It looks the same. So, not too bad. I'm not too unhappy with this. I'm not stoked or anything, but it's a pretty decent replacement.